Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Edward Elgar Publishing. The title is International Investment Law and Development, Bridging the Gap. It's been edited by Stephen W. Schill, Christian J. Tams and Rainer Hoffman. It's in a hardback version and available, of course, online as well. Elizabeth and I looked at the book and we've given our review title for this review we've written, which is on the web and in the journals. This title, New from Edward Elgar, from top international contributors, comment and controversy on investment law and development. Let's have a quick look at the book first. Here it is. It's a hardback. And there it is, there's the front, and then there's the spine, and then there's a bit of commentary on the back, and you can see the information about online there, and also a little bit of information about the, the various authors. It's part of the Frankfurt Investment and Economic Law series, which is mentioned at the bottom there. Now, the back of the book, it runs to 470 odd pages. There's the index, which you can see. There is no paragraph numbering actually referred to, it's the page numbers for the index. So if you're looking for anything in particular, it's actually the page numbers themselves. Then we go to the back. There's some nice useful concluding appreciations which have been included in the various headings. And of course at the front of each chapter you've got some quotes and various other things. There's quite a lot of actual footnoting available, and there is in fact numbering of various subheads all the way through. If we go to the front, you've got the basic front page. Here is the information about the Frankfurt Investment and Economic Law series there. Then after that you've got the detail about the online version, and you've then got the content section there, which is in more detail, with the names of the people who are the contributors. I can't go through all of them by name, but they are listed there. You can see all of the names of the people. The editors have done a splendid job with a large number of contributors. Then there's a preface by the three editors, which is dated October 2015, which is well worth looking at. Then you go into acknowledgements and then straight into the various parts, and you can see the structure. It's standard basically all the way through. So say a lot of footnoting, no specific paragraph numbering, but you should find what you're looking for if you're doing research pretty quickly. Well, what do we say about this book? Well, we say this. Those of us who do not specialise either in international law or development law may well have our horizons widened considerably by contemplating this book, which is a new publication from Elgar. The core question which it poses, and which will provoke at least some controversy, can be expressed as, are international investment law and development friends or foes? Or perhaps a bit of both? The immediate answer from many observers would be, friends, silly. You can't have development without investment. But judging from the erudite commentary from some 20 expert international contributors to this title, opinions on the point vary. It seems that a simple question invites a simple answer, which inevitably is just too simple, for it does not necessarily take into account the complexities involved in the interactions between development and investment and the regulatory frameworks within which each must operate internationally. For any number of reasons carefully explained, the contributions in this book are organised precisely around the friends or foes conundrum, while acknowledging that the relationship between international investment law and international development law has long been a history of ignorance and mistrust. The book's three editors also refer at the outset to what they term the broad consensus that investment, including foreign investment, can have a positive impact on economic development, encouraging, for example, technology transfer, the financing of development projects, which of course confer obvious benefits on many third world economies. So there you can see it's quite an in-depth view that's been put forward there. And it's pointed out that the connection between investment and development is recognised by a number of development policy instruments, and these include the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, Also taking a positive view is the UNCTAD, which is the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, manifested in a recently launched with its investment policy framework for sustainable development, which is IPFSD. There are lots of abbreviations which abound in this area, but no cry dissenting voices who argue vociferously that investment is an enemy of development, the two being irreconcilable, as investment law impedes development needs. One contributor maintains that investment treaties only serve to plunder under the cloak of a law made through the instrumentality of power. Bit detailed that. They perpetuate, he says, the colonial domination of developing countries through new mechanisms of global governance. And then there is the question of whether investment treaties actually attract foreign investment in the first place. In other words, you can take a horse to water, but you can't necessarily make that horse drink the water. But you can see the problem of whether, in fact, it is something that is worthwhile doing. I think it is. But you can see there's always a bit of a risk attached to it. So whichever side you're on, this book could well provide any number of arguments to support it. It's the first title in Elgar's new Frankfurt Investment and Economic Law series. So it's a useful introduction, and it's probably one of the few really scholarly and informed examinations of the links between investment and development, which of course ultimately impact on policy decisions pertaining to, for example, investment in major capital projects within developing countries. Development law practitioners in particular, we feel, as well as academics, will welcome the varying perspectives and close analysis offered by the authoritative commentaries presented in this book. And the publication date is cited as October 2015, recording this at the beginning of 2016. There's the book again, there's the spine, and then there's the bit of blurb on the back. Opening it up in the middle, you can see there's a lot of footnoting. I mean, sometimes people say there's just too much. You see there's more there again. The thing is that when you are actually making statements, which this book does in its various chapter headings, you've got to justify it. And that's the beauty of a lot of the work that we get from Elgar. They produce high quality work. You can see again, this is the content section there. There are 4 main contents, but you can see from that a huge amount of erudition throughout. Thank you very much to Elgar and all the people involved. They certainly have bridged the gap of our knowledge, and that's not really meant to be too much of a joke, but thank you to all concerned for an excellent contribution in this area of law. It's greatly appreciated. Bye-bye.